Hello, 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 and welcome to Ask the Attorney Anything. I'm Rebecca Zung, and I am an attorney, and I am here to answer your questions and help you get through your divorce or whatever it is that you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a narcissist, I've been talking to a lot more people who are dealing with a narcissistic business partner as well. But if you are negotiating with a narcissist, you are in the right place. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do that now. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. And that way you will get notified when I upload brand new content and when I go live and do all of these great things like this. So I would love to know where you all are tuning in from. That's always super fun. I usually get to see people from all over the world. And I'm looking at your questions now so that I can start answering them for you. Let's see. I saw one about how soon after your divorce should you implement a temporary parenting plan? And that question is from Heather. So Heather, thank you for your question. So the first thing I do need to say and make sure that I always say is that I'm only licensed as an attorney in Florida. And so when I give you my advice, it is not legal advice. For actual legal advice that pertains to the laws in your state or your country, you should connect with an attorney there in your jurisdiction. But I can tell you generally and give you general information. So with regard to a temporary parenting plan, that's something that you should probably do, especially if you're dealing with a narcissist on the other side, as soon as you possibly can. I actually had a case one time where the husband had filed for divorce when the wife was my client, and he filed for divorce when she was like 7.5 months pregnant. So what we ended up doing was mediating a temporary parenting plan like a week or two before she gave birth to the baby. And that temporary parenting plan is still actually in place and still going because the case is still going. We are actually getting ready to mediate that case again for the final parenting plan at the end of August. But for the whole first year of the baby's life, the temporary parenting plan has remained in place. And for my client's sake, she has been really happy about that because it didn't give any overnights to the husband. So she has been able to have almost total control of the child for the baby's almost first year. So I would recommend that you enter into a temporary parenting plan as soon as you can, because then there's less problem, less chance for interaction, less chance for manipulation. I would highly recommend that the parenting plan be as specific as possible, which means, Tuesdays and Wednesdays from this time to this time, there with, the mother, Wednesdays and Thursdays from this time to this time, whatever it is, have it be super, super specific, and even down to the detail of who's driving the children to where. Is the person who's receiving the children driving to pick them up? Is the person who's giving up the children for the next 2 days taking them somewhere? And even specify where the exchanges are going to take place. A lot of times before COVID hit, we would say school, like the kids would be dropped off at school in the morning and then the other parent would pick them up in the afternoon. But with COVID, things are a lot more different. So, make sure that you have that in place. And I would recommend that you at least include the major holidays that are going to be coming up in the next several months, because while you can certainly settle your case sooner, and hopefully you do, if you think that there's any chance that a major holiday is going to happen before your case is over, it just makes it easier than having to go back to lawyers and try to go back and forth and try to figure out what's going to happen at Christmas or Hanukkah or, some special holiday that really means a lot to the families. So I do recommend that you implement that temporary parenting plan as soon as possible. And sometimes I even say, before you even move out, have that written parenting plan in place, because otherwise it causes havoc. And I would include in the temporary parenting plan that it is temporary, that it's not to be used for as a basis for any sort of final parenting plan. And I would include in there some kind of language about if one person doesn't do what they say they're going to do, that that the defaulting party or the non-complying party is the one that has to pay both sides fees, so that there's some sort of incentive to actually do the parenting plan. That there's something that happens if the parenting plan isn't adhered to by both parents. And you might want to put something in there about using an app, like some sort of like Talking Parents or Fair or Our Family Wizard or Co-Parenter. There's several apps out there. And I would suggest that you put that in the temporary agreement as well. A lot of jurisdictions do recommend that you mediate a temporary parenting plan almost immediately after the divorce is filed. Some jurisdictions say it has to be in place within 30 days or something like that. So some jurisdictions actually require you to enter into a temporary parenting plan right away. So those are a few of the things that I would include, and that's when I would go ahead and implement that temporary parenting plan. So kind of like a long answer to your question there, Heather, but I think it's a really, really great question and really, really important. So I just want to take a little look over here to see where people are tuning in from. And I see somebody, Diane from Virginia. I actually grew up in McLean, Virginia, which is just outside of Washington, D.C. So Glenn says, are you the only guy here? For sure, you are definitely not. I have lots and lots of male subscribers and listeners and followers here. So Inspire the Inner You is from Manchester, UK. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have somebody from Pennsylvania, California, New Hampshire, Texas, South Africa. I don't even know what time it is over there in South Africa right now, but thank you so much for tuning in and taking the time. So let's see. Let me just see if there's any more questions with regard to parenting plans, because that way we can kind of keep them all together. If my child's father doesn't follow the custody order, what steps do I take? So that's from Danae. So Danae, I'm probably not licensed in wherever it is that you are, but I can just say that if the person doesn't follow a court order, then in your jurisdiction, there's probably some sort of mechanism to enforce that order, whether it's filing a motion to enforce, a motion for contempt, a motion for sanctions, something to that effect, to try to, when you're dealing with a narcissist, they probably won't be following the court order, because that's part of what they do. They do anything they can that they think that they can get away with. And so, you have to hold their feet to the fire. So if you have a lawyer that's saying, oh, don't bother, it's not that big of a deal, that empowers a narcissist. So you do have to hold their feet to the fire. If they're not complying with a court order, then file whatever you need to file to make them comply. Let them know that you're not going to let them get away with whatever it is that they're doing. Okay? So, let's see. I've got, so Danae says you're in Texas. Okay. So, that's what you're going to need to do, is file whatever you need to file in order to make them comply. Don't let them get away with it. Anything you let narcissists get away with, that just empowers them. All right. So, you said that was helpful. Good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to hear that. So let's see. Am I able to move out? This is from Tom. Am I able to move out, then start the divorce process and get the 50-50 custody? So, Tom, I just want to let you know that if you have a narcissistic partner and you move out, then start the divorce, then try to get the custody, you run the risk that that narcissistic partner will withhold time sharing from you, and potentially start poisoning the children against you, and potentially start some kind of campaign of denigration. I mean, I don't know what your partner is like, but if you do have a narcissistic narcissistic co-parent who might have tendencies to denigrate you in some way, once you are out of the house, they have like free reign to start trying to turn the children against you. So I would just be really, really careful about doing that. If you think that that potentially might happen, then I would suggest not moving out until you have a signed temporary parenting plan in place. It doesn't even have to be super formal. It can be something you guys type up. Well, actually, let me not say that. Let me just say, make sure that you talk to your lawyer about whether or not how formal it needs to be and how much it needs to have. But have some kind of a temporary parenting plan in place that's in writing before you move out, for sure. Okay, so, all right. So I have tons of really excellent other questions here that I would like to definitely address next time. Some questions here about STDs and support and unsupervised time sharing. I do have a video, by the way, on supervised time sharing because that came up in my last Ask the Attorney Anything. So for those of you who are asking about supervised time sharing and how to get that, check out my other video on supervised time sharing because I just did that about a week ago. And that's a really good question, a very, very important topic. So thank you all so much for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit subscribe right now. Hit that little subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so that you get notified when I go live like this and I upload brand new content. If you haven't gotten my Crush My Negotiation worksheet, just go to winmynegotiation.com and make sure you grab that. Come on over and also join us in the free private Facebook group. It's called Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung, and we'll make sure to drop a link to that below as well. And if you like this video, give me a like, give it a share, drop me a comment. I love hearing from all of you guys. My heart and my soul goes out to you. I know what it's like to deal with narcissists, and I'm on a crusade to help free you all from the hell that you are in. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Rebecca Zung, and I send all of you peace, light, and love. Thanks again.